Hello, this is Ati. Welcome back. We continue to the Raspberry Pi series. This is episode 2. I tried to keep this video as short as I can, but it ended up being about 15 minutes. And again, I do not have any sort of association with any companies mentioned in this video. If I mention dollar currency in my videos, it is Canadian dollars unless I state otherwise. Enjoy! A few days ago, I received my wireless keyboard. It came with a dongle. I bought it from eBay. It cost me $13.51. Let's plug the power cable to the Raspberry Pi. And we have our Raspberry Pi booted up. We will be using Linux commands from the CLI command line interface. And while executing the commands, I would like to give you some information about what we are doing. Before we do anything, we will start with running two commands. The first command is sudo apt-get update. Sudo is sometimes considered as short for superuser do. It means you can run the command as a superuser, as an administrator. Administrator access has more power than regular user. Try to run the command without sudo at the beginning, and you will see what I mean. apt-get is a tool to automatically update your Debian machine and get installed Debian packages or programs. apt-get update, this command by itself does not upgrade the operating system. It gets the indexes of files that are needed for the upgrades. And from now on, I will say OS for operating system. The process took exactly 1 minute and 4 seconds. The second command is apt-get upgrade. This command upgrades the packages or programs. This process took exactly 22 minutes and 32 seconds. I will not get into details of setting up a Wi-Fi connection for the Raspberry Pi, as there are already many documents available for this on internet. I will just show you a couple of sites as examples. One of the best options would be Google. Some people get offended when someone says to them, just Google it. Well, actually, that is what you need to do. As the saying goes, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. I'll show you where you get connected in a simple way. For this, your wireless adapter should be active. If it is not set up correctly, please Google it. To connect to the Wi-Fi, please click on the icon shown on the top right corner. In my case, the name of my wireless network is Ghost Dragon Net. Please click on it and enter your Wi-Fi password. Let's ping Google to test our network connectivity, and the ping is successful. We will establish an SSH session to our Raspberry Pi from a Windows workstation. SSH is a short for Secure Shell. To do this, we will need an SSH client. In this video, I will show you two tools that you can use out of many. People like to use what they are used to. I like Putty and I will stick to that. You can use whatever you like. I have attached a link for the alternatives of Putty to establish an SSH session. As for Putty, it does not have a graphical user interface for the profiles connected in the past. You can export them, but it is not very user-friendly. The second application I was talking about is called MtPutty. There are many similar applications like that. Again, I'm used to MtPutty, just use whatever you like. The link is also attached. MtPutty uses Putty in the background, but you can save the profiles for the future use. Once you establish the SSH session, it is like using your Raspberry Pi from a distance. With SSH, you get the CLI command line interface. This is where I have my Putty installed. This folder is for the MtPutty, and I have copied the putty.exe underneath it. You can download it from the links I provided earlier. And let's run Putty. Once we run Putty, we need to log in. And to log in, I have to put the username first. It's pi at 192.168.2.12. Pi is the username. At this IP address is my the IP address of the Raspberry Pi, and this is going to be an SSH session. And then I just click on open, and it will be giving me the login screen for the Pi user. So we type in our password, and there you go, it logged me in. And I can run simple commands, ls, hostname, or whatever you can think of, ifconfig. So I'm logged into the Putty, and that's my Putty session from my Windows machine. As for the MtPutty, we go to MtPutty, and you can check the screen, like you can check the menus yourself. For this, there's a requirement that when you install MtPutty at the beginning, it will be asking you to give the exact location of the Putty, which I did already. So if you need to change it, or if you are just adding it yourself after, you go to the tools, Putty location, and this is where my Putty was, the putty.exe was. And from here, I'm just showing you where it is located. And once you have it installed correctly, you can create machines, servers. You can add servers, or you can create folder. I already created those are mine, and let me just create one for demonstration purposes. So I create a folder that is called test, and here on this one I highlighted, and I'll create a server for my Raspberry Pi. And for my Raspberry Pi, my username is pi at 192.168.2.12, and it is going to be an SSH session. And it shows me the display name for the, let me show you that one first. When I click OK, it created that, but sometimes it can make you confused. So let me change the display name. I don't want this looking like that. It's going to be Raspberry Pi 3 module B. And so, when you create this, it will be having the command. It will generate the command line itself by MtPutty. You can run it as this, but let's say OK. There you go. The name has changed right away. And to connect, I just double click on it, and I type in my password. There you go. I have my session now. Let me check, put the command ls. That's for listing the directories and folders. And while I have that, I want to create a second session. And this one I'll log in again. And let me type in ifconfig. So in my first session, I typed in ls. In my second session, I typed in ifconfig. Do I need different sessions to run different commands? No, absolutely not. But for example, if you are running some commands that has some output for you, and you will be using that output for another command, and in that case, you see the first output from the first tab, let's say, and the second command where you need to put some of that data as input, you can just switch the screens easily. And for example, it doesn't have to be the same username. For example, let me modify this a little. I just type in the IP address, and it's going to be root when I try to log in. Instead of here pi at Raspberry Pi, you will see root, as you see here. Oops. remember my password. So anyway, I don't remember my password, but I can reset it after. So you get the idea. To have a remote desktop connection to the Raspberry Pi, there are two ways you can do it. At least I know there are two ways. One is XRDP. It's like the RDP version for the Linux, and the other one is VNC. I will put the links where you can configure it either for RDP or VNC, but I'm not going to show you how it's being configured because I already configured it. So I will just go ahead on connecting to have a RDP session to the Raspberry Pi. MSTSC, that's the remote desktop for Windows. You will get the screen once you run the command mstsc, and your remote desktop, in the remote desktop you have to put the computer name or the IP address, which is this one. My IP address is this one, so I click on OK, connect. You get the warning where it says anyway, we just click on yes. And here you get this screen, and you have to put in your username, which is pi, and then I type in my password. And there you go. This will bring me the remote desktop connection to the Raspberry Pi. Why do I need the graphical interface, the remote desktop to the Raspberry Pi? I really don't need it, but for shooting some videos, that's really useful for me. So I can log in from my Windows machine to the Raspberry Pi and show you the graphical interface as well. So I ran some updates, as you remember from the last time. It's just giving me some info that is being updated and some stuff may not be working, blah blah blah. We click on OK. So here we have the graphical interface of the Raspberry Pi, and this is a remote desktop session. If you see on the top, that's my remote desktop. So let me just exit out from here, and I will use this application. It's a freeware as well, but be careful. If you use some freeware, it's gonna install some other stuff, so it's on your own risk. I like to use it. I'm using it, but you may not be wanting to use it. So anyway, I created a session here for the Raspberry Pi already, and from the menus you can see here I type in my IP address for the host name or IP address. My username is pi. Here I have my password. This is going to be an RDP remote desktop session. 3389 is the standard port for RDP, but you can change it if you configure it differently. And once I connect, I want to have it full screen. Let me change it first to 640 to 480 pixels, and let me run it like that. That's about it here. You need to put in. So when I run it, the screen I get is 640 to 480, and that's what you have. Let me disconnect. You can right click and disconnect, and let me run it in full screen. And once I double click on it, there you go. I have it in full screen now. So again, you don't need really graphical interface for remoting into the Raspberry Pi, but I will use my Windows machine for education purposes to shoot some videos. So that's why I have the remote desktop. If you like this video, you might like to see my other videos as well. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button at the bottom. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next project.